Oh my God. That was
that
awesome.
good? Was that good?
Yeah.
Wow. Yo, we should use that. We should use that.
We could, yeah. Another Goofy Scoop episode. We are eternally grateful.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode here on the Goofy Scoop podcast. Just like last week, where we talked about what we would want to change with Magic Kingdom, we're going to have the same sort of topic when it comes to Hollywood, Disney's Hollywood Studios. Gray, I think you should get it started because it sounded like you possibly had some good changes that you wanted to talk about.
Good changes that I want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, other than the fact of we really can't talk about Rock and Roller Coaster anymore because we already talked about that. I want to do Emperor's New Groove. You wanted to do Lemonade Mouth or Camp Rock or whatever, something with Disney Channel movies. But yeah, I think we should start at the front of the park. And if there's anything that you want to change, just kind of as we walk through, because Disney Hollywood Studios is such a small park, the smallest park. I don't think it's going to be one of the longest episodes, but it'll be pretty easy to go through just for how small this park is.
Great. We can start at the front of the park. First of all, burn Oscars to the ground.
Okay, and that is a wrap. We're going to go ahead and let you go. Sorry this didn't work out. I was wondering, dude, before we got started, I was like, I don't want to ask him at all, like what his changes are, what he wants to do. And now I know why you were like, oh, you're going to cancel me. Now I know why you said that.
Okay. No, that was a joke. I wanted to see what your reaction would be.
No, Oscars is untouchable.
I really like Oscars. It's I like the front of the park. I don't think there's anything weird about it. Really, all of Hollywood Boulevard I like.
I was about to say,
all the way up to the Chinese Theater is good.
Yeah, the only thing I can really think of that I would like to change at the front of the park or park arrival, if we're going to use correct terms, I think Movie Land needs something different.
I don't know what that is.
That's my point. It's the store that is, okay, so for instance, you have the main entrance gate where you basically have to do the touch points with the wristbands, with the magic bands.
Yep.
Yeah. So half of the store you can check out outside of that. Like outside of the park, and then the other half you're inside of the park.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, and it's to the left.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only thing that needs to change. I don't even know what they would change it to, or I think they should honestly just get rid of it as a whole.
Does it get enough business to like keep it as a merchandise location?
I never really got too busy when I was working like that shift, or either I'd be covering somebody while they went for their break. There's maybe one or two times where I would be just a little bit overwhelmed, because usually it's just you are by yourself. You're very rarely there with somebody else. So I think it just needs to go away. That's what I would probably, the one and only thing that I would change at the front of the park.
I feel like at that point, people are just trying to get into the park. Like they don't care about the merchandise right there. Like they're just trying to get into the park. And then once they're in the park, there's a lot of stores they can go to. There's a ton of merchandise locations in Hollywood Studios as a whole.
Oh, it's awesome.
Like all of Hollywood Boulevard, a lot of Sunset Boulevard. It's like all.
Oh, yeah. There's tons of merchandise.
Yeah.
The best thrill rides.
Okay.
And the best merchandise, I think.
I don't know, but I can see thrill rides. I don't know about merchandise. Depends on what you're looking for, I think. Like where you can find it.
Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't have all the merchandise in the world. Like it's definitely not like a World of Disney. Definitely a lot of Beauty and the Beast stuff. A lot of, well, not a lot of, but very selected Little Mermaid stuff, just because they have that one Little Mermaid theatrical thing over.
And it's a terrible show.
Yeah.
Let's just dive into that for a second. Would I
No
change
pun
the
intended.
show? I didn't do that on purpose. I promise.
Under the sea.
I like it's just an okay show. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's top-notch Disney. I think the Beauty and the Beast stage show is way better than the Little Mermaid stage show.
Yeah.
And I like the story of the Little Mermaid better. So
Well, it's just like over there too in that little courtyard. It's just so blech.
it's
Because you
awkward.
have it is. It's very awkward because you have the Disney Junior stuff, which is fine. You got a place for like the little kids to go. Like, it's I view Disney as an adult now. So sometimes I do get carried away and I'm like, oh yeah, it is for the kids too. It's for kids and adults.
Yeah.
But
Also, don't tell me that it's just for kids because it's not.
yeah, it's not. I hate when people are just like,
Yeah.
you're 25 years old and you're obsessed with Disney. I'm just like, it's not just for kids, dude. It's not what you think it is. So, but yeah, it's very, very awkward. And then you also have Launch Bay, which I think that they're getting rid of as well, just because
Good.
they have, just because they have Galaxy's Edge now. That's a cool museum. It's a terrible spot now with the times changing. Like Star Wars has moved on.
So let's talk about all these museums that are in Hollywood Studios. First of all, Launch Bay, I think is kind of weird. It's truly just a character meet and greet. There's nothing else really there.
Yeah.
Like character meet and greet. Awesome. Great. There's better places.
That's what most people go for.
Well, that's true. Then I really enjoy the like Walt Disney Museum. I don't know what it's called, but it's like his journey. Like talked about Snow White and it has his like first desk or whatever. I think that is really cool. Why in the world is there a Monsters Inc. meet and greet in the back of it?
I don't know. I don't even
makes
know
no
what
sense.
that museum is called. I just always refer to it as Walt Disney Presents.
Right. Well, that's like it's like a theater inside of it, which I think is kind of cool that they show the like previews of upcoming movies and that kind of thing. But I just think Monsters Inc. is like, oh, by the way, we have a meet and greet over here. You guys should come see it. Like that's weird.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like now that I think about it, Monsters Inc. really doesn't have any section for itself.
Nope.
I feel like they should be I feel like Tomorrowland would be perfect if they updated it like we were saying in the Magic Kingdom episode.
But see, we talked about the laugh floor. Why are Mike and Sully in Hollywood Studios and not at the laugh floor or like near the laugh floor or something like that?
Yeah.
Near the purple wall.
That's a good question. Because I honestly, I didn't go in that museum a whole lot. If I did go into the museum, it was like cool off for a quick second. And I just kind of like walked through and then just went right back out and went on about my day. But yeah, just that courtyard is just so awkward because you have the Little Mermaid Launch Bay and then the Disney Junior thing. And it's just kind of, other than that, it's very blah.
It's like not a consistent theme.
No, it's
That's
not.
also where that archway is. That's like Disney's Hollywood Studios. It's like a big focal point, which is great. And it leads into that direction. But to me, that gateway should be like if you're telling me this is Disney Hollywood Studios, I should walk in and like see movie stuff, which I guess is the whole like premise behind the museums and stuff being there.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but it's still very awkward. I want to see more movie things and not, oh, we have the Disney Junior show, we have the Little Mermaid show, and we have whatever. I just think that's very awkward.
Yeah. You know what? One big thing I would change since we are talking about that archway and since it's like right next to it, it's the Chinese theater. You know what I would change with that? I would not change it. I would alter it.
Keep going.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it, but I would alter it. You know how like Cinderella's castle, how you can walk through the middle of it?
Mm-hmm.
I wish that's how the Chinese theater was.
But it's a ride.
I know it's a ride.
See, for a while, so it was the Great Movie Ride and they shut it down. And for a while it was nothing. Which like then I could see the point. But now it's Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yeah. Which if there was like a way, I mean, I'd have to see the blueprints. I'll never see the blueprints. But you know, if there was a way that they could have had the ride in it, but then also had, you know, maybe like a 40-foot walkway where you kind of like walk through the theater and you have like, you know, memorabilia and nostalgic Disney things on each side that you can kind of look at while you're walking through. And then that just puts you at the back of the park.
Well, I was going to ask you, what is on the other side of the Chinese theater?
On the other side of the Chinese theater, I don't
Galaxy's
think
Edge?
it. As of right now, no, I don't think it's Galaxy's Edge. If anything, it would be on the. If you're facing the gates of it, it would be on the left side of Munizenberg, the Incredible section. So it'd be
I
like
didn't even know that had a name. That's a weird name.
yeah. So it'd be the like the backstage area, really.
Right. So there's like nothing over there.
Yeah, no, nothing.
So like you'd have
unless it's the actual attraction. Yeah. So it's kind of sad because I remember backstage, but some spots like around that area, I'm not familiar with, and I kind of like slips my memory every once in a while. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. And speaking of the area, I'm glad you mentioned it. What is that? What did you say that Incredibles area was called?
Munizenberg, I think. I think that's like the name of the town or the name of the city.
Yeah.
Munizenberg, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's like
weird name.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the fact that there's an Edna Mode meet and greet.
Yep.
But then the rest of the characters only come out for special events.
Well, they do. Yeah. Edna Mode, she does have a meet and greet. I'm pretty sure that there's like 2 or 3 other meet and greets in there, but it's not as often as Edna. But the only time that
Edna's there like every day.
Yeah.
Because I've like love Edna Mode. Great girl. No capes. Killing it all the time.
No capes.
The only time that I have seen any other characters there, I wasn't even there. It was like Christmas Eve or something like that when my family came down and they went to Hollywood Studios. They got to meet Mr. Incredible. But other than that, I never saw any other Incredibles characters. And Hollywood Studios is my favorite park. And I would go there all the time.
Really? See, I've seen them in like parades and stuff, but not meet and greets.
But see, parade, that's different. I mean, like in the park.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't either. Then Toy Story Land is great about that, by the way.
Toy Story Land, the characters are always around.
Yeah, meet and greets, incredible.
Yeah, love that.
Bad choice of words from talking about the Incredibles. But
what's up with these dad jokes? This episode 1 in the world. Yeah, I also just think like if we're gonna give the Incredibles a home, let's do better than the back closet of the house.
Well, see, that's the thing too, is like they're also in like the dance party in Tomorrowland. Like I know that Elastigirl's over there.
Why?
I don't know. Why? They're scattered. They're scattered everywhere.
Like because she has superpowers, she's automatically like a person of tomorrow. Like people today don't have superpowers, but like tomorrow people do. That's weird.
I feel like Epcot's the best place for them.
Agreed. In Future World, right?
Yep.
That would make sense.
But totally also like
yeah. There. That's like a whole other thing. But I don't know. I feel like there's like an incredible section, but again, it's like, oh shoot, we just came up with this really good movie. We need to put something in the parks. There's a closet over there. Go throw them in that. Like that's
well, it used to be where Toy Story Mania entrance was. So it used to be like Toy Story themed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they basically shut that door and then put the entrance on the other side.
Yeah.
And then they're like, whoa, what do we do with all this dead space? And like you said, they're just like, oh, fill it with something.
Yeah, it just looks weird. They could have just like put a wall there. They could have just like put a wall there or something. Like it wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah. And I think and they do have that gate there, which they do close. It closes.
Yeah.
Like the first thing that closes in the day. It's like 3 p.m. and it's just like, oh, Munizenberg doors are closed. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I think it's weird.
I think they did that to push the Incredibles too. I think they did that for that second movie. I think they were like, oh, we're going to do an Incredible section. Let's hope that this movie does well. And then
I think the movie did do well. So like, shout out them.
Yeah.
I think it did do well.
It took way too long for them to make a second one, but it was a good movie.
Also, let's just talk about best quick service location to get a cup of water right there before you go into Toy Story Land. Best place to get a cup of water. You need some water? Go there. The lines are normally short. They've got churros if you want one of those, but free water, cups of water. Great. Love it. Amazing.
Going into Toy Story Land.
That place like right there, like where the is it Japanese?
I think it is a Joffrey's. It's like you're
Maybe.
walking past the Walt Disney Presents Museum, and it's to the left, right before you turn to the right.
Yeah.
I think
It's
that's
like
a
against the
Joffrey's.
wall.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. They got great cups of water. Let me tell you. It's really good.
Yeah.
Also, the restrooms right there, pretty good also.
Yeah, I always go to those restrooms because
Like, they're good. They're quiet.
I was about to say because the next pair of restrooms is at like the tail end of Toy Story Land going into Galaxy's Edge. So it's a little bit of a distance.
Kind of a walk.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
So now let's move into
Um,
Toy Story Land.
I was about to say
Let's
I'm
get
trying to
some-
think of anything that I wanted to change in Toy Story Land. The first thing that comes to mind is we need shade. We need way more shade.
Agreed. There is no shade.
It's terrible.
We're throwing shade, Disney. That's what you need to put some shade. All the
Shade
shade
for
that we're
shade.
throwing, put it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so hot.
it-
It's always so hot.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me because it's like, yeah, we're supposed to be, shrunken down to toy size. You can't throw a couple big giant leaves in there for us to stand under. Did they do it
Yeah,
for
for real.
crowd flow? Maybe that way not a whole lot of people stand around in the shaded spots and it kind of congests.
Maybe the only areas that I know that have shade are the queues for the rides. Slinky Dog doesn't have much shade until you get under like the cards.
Mhm.
And then Alien Saucer Spin, Swirl Spin, whatever it's called. There's shade pretty much that entire queue line, but like no one ever waits for that ride hardly. It's like 15-minute wait. It's the highest I've ever seen it. And then Toy Story Mania has a lot of shade.
Yep. But it is the Animal Kingdom gets pretty toasty, but Toy Story Land, I'm pretty sure it's on the surface of the sun some days.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
warm.
pretty bad.
Animal Kingdom gets hot for other reasons though. But like as far as like it's just hot, Toy Story Land is the hottest place.
Oh yeah, I always catch myself just like, okay, guys, okay, stick and move. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Like
It's bad.
stop, don't just like stand here. Even at what is it, Andy's Lunchbox, the quick service there, the tables, like there's like 2 umbrellas on all the tables. You have to like fight for those, which you're never
Oh, really?
gonna get.
Last time I went, all of them had umbrellas, so they might have changed
Okay.
that.
Maybe I just don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. They definitely
Yeah,
could put
oh.
like more things up.
Have you ever had the tachos?
I don't know what that is. Oh, is that the tater tot nachos?
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Also, grilled cheese there. So good.
I didn't have the
Kids
grilled
meal,
cheese.
half a grilled cheese. Like, that's a great kids meal.
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't order the tachos. My girlfriend, she ended up ordering the tachos. I got like a turkey sandwich or something. I wasn't like too hungry, but it ended up being a big sandwich. I was like, okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, the tachos were super good. It was just a little too hot. I wouldn't be able to eat all of the tachos. But if you haven't had the tachos, oh,
They're
you got to
really
get
good.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tachos, I would not
As-
change.
As far as Toy Story Land, there's not much I would change. I think they did a really good job with that. Make Slinky Dog Dash longer. I mean, come on. It's the
Yeah.
best roller
It's-
coaster in all of your parks. Come on.
It's a perfect length for kids though. Because I
I
feel
think
like
they would enjoy it more if it was longer.
true. And for how long the line is, it almost needs to be longer just because
Yeah.
you're waiting for half the day and you only ride it for what is it, 35 seconds, I think, maybe.
Yeah, it's really short. It's really short.
But
Still fun. Still the best roller coaster.
yeah, I think that's the only thing that I can really think of in Toy Story Land is just more shade
Yeah.
and maybe like more airflow in the queues because the queues,
Yeah,
kind of-
it does get hot. It does get hot.
yeah. And I
They
don't know if
have
they went over
fans.
budget or what.
Who knows? They have fans in the beginning of Slinky Dog, but then once you get under the cards, there's like no fans. And it's really weird. They should
Yeah,
put
it
fans,
seems
but-
it seems very budgeted, almost Six Flags
Yeah.
like, which I don't want to compare Disney to Six Flags, but there's nothing worse. Okay, for instance, the Six Flags over Texas, waiting in line for Mr. Freeze, and you're inside his building and you see ice and snow everywhere, but then you're sweating.
Yeah.
It's like, come
Yeah.
on, I'm a real big guy on theming. Like I shouldn't be
Yeah.
sweating with snow all around.
Do
me.
better.
Come on.
Yeah. Do
Pump
better.
the air.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
what
that's
I kind
true.
of get with the Toy Story Land section. It's kind of like, why can't we have big leaves here? Why can't we have something?
Yeah. Yeah. There's got to be something. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I would change about Toy Story Land.
Yep.
Now, this, like, it's okay because it's kind of a long walk and there's like a distance in between and it merges really well. But the fact that you go from Toy Story Land to Galaxy's Edge, I think is kind of weird.
Yes. Okay. So the way that I'm weird, I very rarely, unless my group wants to go that way, and then I'm kind of like, okay, whatever, that's fine. If I'm in the park by myself, or if I get to kind of control the pace of the group, I will literally turn around, walk out of Toy Story Land, past Mickey's Runaway Railroad, and back around to ABC Commissary into the Muppet section. And then I will walk through that entrance because entrance is the best entrance.
Because the other entrance, it's not really an entrance. Like you just walk in and it's like, oh, I'm on Batu now. Oh, here I am. Like,
yeah,
it's just awkward.
It's not a good transition at all. It's terrible. I would change that for sure. 100%.
I think they did like the best they could. I don't know what else they could change with it. Like, I don't know what else they could do to fix that. But it is just really awkward. So.
I don't know. I think the easiest thing that they could have done was it would also be handicap friendly, but you have a slight ramp going up into a spaceship. And on the other side, you have the same size ramp on the way down. That way you can kind of have, like it doesn't have to be that big, but there could be a couple benches and stuff for people to rest. It'd be a shaded area.
That would be kind of cool.
Most of the people just walk.
You just go up and over. And it doesn't have to be like a big hill, just like a.
I mean, it can gradually.
It doesn't have to be like super tall.
It can gradually go to 20 feet if we wanted to.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like a little excessive. Like, would it be cool? Would it make it? I'm
trying to get my bearings.
20 feet's high. The height of a room is normally like 9 to 10 feet. Like 20 feet's like 2 stories. That's high.
I guess it depends on how long you'd want the ramp. And the model of the spaceship as well, or the Star Cruiser, or whatever we want to call it. But
I don't know.
Yeah, and then Star Wars. I know you're not huge on Star Wars. I would not change a thing other than I was a little let down that Disney copied and pasted basically with Disneyland and Disney World with Galaxy's Edge. I would have really appreciated if they had 2 different planets or 2 different off planets, however we want to say it. But now that there's 2 Batus in the world, I'm kind of like, okay, we have 2 of the same things on opposite coasts in the same country. It'd be one thing if it was like in Disneyland Paris and then over here.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah. Okay, so here's my thing with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I'm going to preface this. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I have watched some of the movies, not all of them, some of the movies. I can't get into it. I've tried. I've watched them. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Not interested. Don't really care. Hate me if you want. That's what it is. I just don't like Star Wars.
You don't like The Mandalorian either?
No, don't like it. I watched the first 2 episodes and was like, this is dumb. Oh, look, Grogu's kind of cute. That's it. And the only reason I know Grogu's name is because I worked at the Disney store and they were like, oh, you should probably know his name. So you can talk about it with the guests that come in.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I know his name. Other than that, I would call him Baby Yoda, which I know is not Baby Yoda. So I'm calling him Grogu because I'm trying to be respectful. But Galaxy's Edge, personally, I like the Millennium Falcon. It's a cool ride. Everything else, burn it to the ground.
Really? Well, you also haven't been on Rise of the Resistance yet either.
I haven't been on Rise. I've heard it's really cool. I've done a walk through, ride through, whatever, on YouTube. It's kind of okay. But the Oga's Cantina drinks there are good.
Yep.
But the quick service place is not good.
No, yeah, I wasn't very it was good. I wasn't blown away.
Yeah, it's like Also, the blue and green milk, absolutely disgusting.
Really? See, I haven't had
I
the green one.
hated it.
I haven't had the green one. I've had the blue one.
No,
And
don't.
I'm
It's
not gonna
gross.
lie. I'm not. The blue wasn't bad. The only thing that I'd have to say is it's a little chalky.
Exactly. Gross.
But
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's just. I think that's how they want it, though.
Well, I think it's disgusting. I also have a love, not love hate relationship. I love the old Hollywood studios, the backlot tour, the stunts auto show, whatever that was with all the stunt cars. I think that was super cool.
Yeah.
Like bring that stuff back. I loved that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, before we move out of the Star Wars area into something else, I will agree with you there. They did get away from appreciating the movies and kind of creating this movie world for people to kind of see how it's created
Mhm.
and just kind of put you in like an on-set atmosphere. They definitely did get away with that. And Star Wars, I like Star Wars, but the big negative with me is Star Wars basically got Disney's Hollywood Studios majorly away from that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Like, if you're gonna name it Hollywood Studios, then let's make it like a Hollywood studio. I also, so in college, majored in broadcasting. Like, I love the behind the scenes things of camera work and the movies and all that kind of stuff. So, like, the front of Hollywood Studios, very me, very like, this is old Hollywood. This is what it used to be. This is what the characters are like. Like, Citizens of Hollywood, one of my favorite things in all of Hollywood Studios. Once you go back, I love Toy Story Land, but like once you go back there, you're not in Hollywood Studios anymore. You're in a theme
Yeah.
park
It
that's
changes
like
a lot.
there for kids. And I'm not here for that. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's great, but if I had to change it, I would.
Yeah.
Toy
It's
Story
so
Land,
fun.
awesome. I
love
love
it.
Toy Story
But
Land.
like,
Yeah, I love Toy Story. I love Toy Story Land. I love Galaxy's Edge. But yes, they are getting away from what Hollywood studios should be and should have stayed as.
yep, I agree. And that's all I'm
Which,
going to say on that. That's the
how do you? I know we're kind of jumping around instead of going in a circle, but how do you feel about the Indiana Jones show?
okay. I love the Indiana Jones show. Reason being, at first it's like, oh, this is kind of out of place. But you watch it, and the point of the show is to tell you how it's done.
Yep.
Like, they're like, oh no, Indiana just died under that huge rock. Oh, just kidding. It's styrofoam. Like, they show you how these things are done. And as someone who has been in the cast of that show,
Oh yeah, you have. I forgot.
I
Oh my god, I wish I was there that day.
I just think like I think it's an excellent show, both in the audience and on stage. They do like a really good job of like, especially the people that get to participate. They're like, okay, now you're the actor. Like, I need you to show facial expressions when this happens. Like, this is going to happen. Show facial expressions. You need to run away because you're going to light on fire if you don't. Like, those types of things. That's what Hollywood Studios should be about. This is what the back side of Hollywood looks like. The backside of water, if you will. This is what it should look like.
I knew
This is
you
what
were
it's
gonna say
supposed
that.
to be like.
As soon as you said the backside, because I was thinking it, I was like, the backside of water, O2H. I knew you were gonna say
Yeah.
the backside of studios.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. That like to me, I think Indiana Jones should stay there forever and should never leave. Because I think it's excellent.
I wish I could move it. I like the show. I wish I could move it.
To where?
You know where the Lightning McQueen show is?
Mm-hmm.
I'd move it over there.
Okay.
It's cool.
So what?
I love Indiana Jones. I love the 3 films. I really do. Huge Indiana Jones fan. However, you also have to understand that it's dated. It's not outdated. It's just dated. So it does
is
need
dated.
to kind of be put in a corner.
That's true. It is dated. You're right.
Because it's only gonna attract. I honestly feel I don't think the kids honestly want to go to that show anymore. I think if anything, it is now the dads, because now at our age, we're everybody's becoming adults. So it's like, oh, Indiana Jones, are you kidding me? We got to go.
Yeah.
I'm taking the kids.
No,
I don't care.
That's very true. That's very true.
So, and I
But
feel
see, at the same time, Hollywood Studios to me has never been a kids park.
no, yeah, it's been
Hollywood, like
adultish.
Magic Kingdom, sure. Like Animal Kingdom, okay, you can go around and look at the animals, sure.
hmm
Hollywood Studios has, to me, always been more adult focused.
Oh yeah, Hollywood Studios and Epcot, especially Epcot now.
Yeah.
The festivals are definitely making it more adult, but that's
Mhm.
another episode.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
Hollywood Studios has
but
always been it like teenage to adult.
exactly. And I think that's where some of the draw that Disney had on families was that once I'm sorry, once you get older, you don't want to go to Magic Kingdom. Like, okay, I want to go there for the nostalgia. I love Splash Mountain. I love Space Mountain.
Oh,
But
I'll go to
I'm not
Magic
like,
Kingdom
oh my
anytime.
gosh, I want to go ride Dumbo so bad. No, I don't
Well,
want
no,
to do that.
good. Dumbo is definitely not like the go-to ride though. But like,
No, I
you
mean,
got to think
but like,
pirates.
what
Like,
are your go-to rides in Magic Kingdom?
my go-to
top
rides in
three.
Magic Kingdom? Top three: Haunted Mansion,
Top three.
Pirates, and Space.
Okay, Space Mountain, adrenaline. Pirates has a drop in it, adrenaline. Haunted Mansion, nostalgia.
True.
And so like Magic Kingdom, I'm sorry, you go for the kids. And there's like a couple of fun rides for the adults or like the older people. Hollywood Studios is the park that's like, okay, you're a teenager now, like go explore, go have some fun, go learn something. That's what those museums at the front of the park are about.
True. And also, with the whole tying into Magic Kingdom, like we stated before, there's no alcohol in Magic Kingdom either.
Yep.
So, by the time you're 21 and you're able to drink, you're like, okay, well, if I'm with my friends or family, whatever the situation is, I'm not a huge drinker, but there's people out there that they're going to go get a beer at 8 a.m. as soon as the park opens because it's available.
Right. Yeah.
I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is good too that Hollywood Studios has that option. And then they also do have a Starbucks, which is really good. Charlie Cart Cafe.
Yeah.
Which I miss that smell in the morning. I hate drinking coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. I love the smell of it in the morning though. Mm-hmm. That alone wakes me up.
I don't know. I don't want to harp on it too much because like Hollywood Studios has changed. I just don't like that it's changed. Take us back to the old times.
Yeah.
That's all I think.
How do you feel about the Muppet section? Because I was going to bring that up next. I don't like the Muppets.
You don't like the Muppets at all?
No.
Murder the Muppets? Here, mit der Frage.
No, I don't like the Muppets really.
I personally like the Muppets. I think they're fun. I think Miss Piggy is hilarious. I think Muppet Vision 3D, the show, the pre-show, exciting. Like fun. The room that you go in before the show starts, like get everyone in and like, you can see the floor move a little bit more before you like go inside. Great. Very well themed. The video thing is really funny. Once you go inside, I think the show itself is kind of outdated and kind of lame.
Yes. I only have one good memory with that show. I don't even like the show. I just have a good memory tied to it. So it's like when I see it, I'm like, okay, the Muppet Show. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, so the only memory I have with it is On with the Show. It was like one of the last days of training. Basically had, I have my name tag. I have everything, like learning about the park that I'm going to work in for the next 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it started just raining. It started like downpour, monsoon out of nowhere.
Yeah,
so
that's Florida.
None of us had umbrellas except for the two leaders or the trainers or whatever we want to call them.
Yeah.
So we just book it over to the Muppet Show. It's like 5 minutes until the next show. So we basically just go watch the show waiting for the rain to pass because basically all the stuff we have to do is outside. And I just remember sitting there going, I'm basically in orientation or like training and I'm over here watching a Disney theatrical show. And like, it was like one of those moments where it was like humbling, but also it was like, just felt like a blessing. Cause I was just like, I hate the Muppets, but I'm very tolerable of this situation right now because I was just so happy to be there. And I was just like, I can't believe that something that I've wanted for years now and I've applied for multiple times is finally happening.
Yeah.
And like, that's the one good memory I have with the Muppet Show. Other than that, if I didn't have that memory, I'd be like, get rid of it.
I don't know what you would put there. I like the Muppet Show. I think it's good to like have the homage to the Muppets. The Muppets have always been Disney. Like, I think it's a good like history thing. So like I'm here for it. Also the best part of everything about that area is when you leave the Muppet Show, and you can get there without going through the Muppet Show, but it's still a great show to go watch. Is the Christmas store that's over there in that back corner.
Yeah.
The best Christmas store. The best Christmas store on property. Better than the one in Liberty Square, better than the one at Disney Springs. I think it's a great Christmas store. So that's a good.
I had to
great place
stock
go.
that store one time too when I was heart of house.
There's one thing that I saw one time when I was there, and I was like, dang, I really want that. And then like the month later when I went to go buy it, because I had money at that point, it was gone and no one could tell me that it ever existed. But I know it existed.
What was
And
it?
it was 3 nutcrackers, or like 3 like toy soldiers playing drums.
Yeah.
And they were playing It's a Small World.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, I want that. But like, doesn't exist. No one could tell me where it was. Asked a billion times. I wanted
Gray,
it.
if I recall though, didn't you say like that is one of the most annoying sounds or songs ever?
Okay. It is an annoying song. But just the fact of having toy soldiers like sitting on a shelf being like, that's my world. Like, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
want
different when it's not the ride as well.
Well, yeah, because you get tired of it in the ride, and then you whatever. I don't want to talk about that ride too much because we're in Hollywood Studios, but like, you know, the creepy dolls, and they're like, you know, just like creepy. And the hippo
Yeah.
is like, so anyway,
Hippo gets me every time.
I like the Muppet area. I think it's cool. Pizza Rizzo's great.
It's okay.
Gotta have a pizza place somewhere. Like, none of the pizza in the parks is any good because it's frozen pizza anyway. But you gotta have a
it's
pizza
frozen,
place.
reheated.
Yeah.
You know what? I think they should change it to a Marvel section.
They can't
Why?
because Universal. There's a contract that Universal has that says you cannot put Marvel on this side of the like east side of the Mississippi River, which is why Marvel Campus, Avengers Campus, is in Disneyland, but they will not put anything in Disney World. But
Didn't know
they're
that.
putting like the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster because Disney owned Marvel when that came out. But like Universal has
Anything
the rights
prior.
to like Hulk, Spider-Man, Captain America, like all of that that's prior. Universal on the east side of the Mississippi like has that. I keep saying this side because I live on the East Coast, but like the east side of the Mississippi, that's that. So they can't. That's what the contract says.
Yeah.
So like that'll never happen, unfortunately.
I didn't know about that. That is interesting to know. And I'm kind of happy though, even though I did just say that I wanted them to change it to Marvel, because it is a small section. Like not a whole lot would be happening. It would basically just be very heavily themed.
Like meet and greets, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, like the Hulk and the Spider-Man ride and all that stuff over at Universal, fantastic. Would not change that. So I wouldn't want to take away from Universal either. But yeah, if I had to change it, it would definitely be Marvel themed. But now knowing that,
I mean, that's a good theming. That's like
I don't know what I'd change it to.
Something to put there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's got like that New York feel. Granted, I've never been to New York, but it just has like the tall building feeling.
Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, so leaving from there, let's talk about the lake with my favorite dinosaur in it.
Gertie?
Yeah, my girl Gertie. What's up, Gertie?
Stone Gertie.
Yeah. Hey, I love Gertie. And my favorite part about Gertie, Christmas time, when they put a Santa hat on her and a little ornament hanging out of her mouth. Hilarious.
Oh yeah. Next to the seaweed.
Exactly.
Opened eyes with the seaweed.
Look,
the smoke.
Look, all
out.
I'm saying, they got rid of the giant hat. They got rid of the giant hat at Hollywood Studios and made the Tower of Terror like the focal point or like the symbol of Hollywood Studios. No,
which I'm fine with. I'm fine. No, I wouldn't go that far. Gertie.
Nope, you're wrong. I don't like how.
Yeah, okay, but speaking of Echo Lake, though, next to the beautiful Gertie, you know what I think that they should do? They need to put that hat, the Sorcerer Mickey hat. They need to put that in the lake. It would fit.
That would be cool.
Yep,
I'm okay with that. But
I've talked to numerous people about that. Yeah, because it's just
bring back the hat.
It's just backstage, off stage somewhere, like one of their storage units that they have.
Yeah, exactly. Just put it back.
Like, why did they not do that for the 30th? Like the whole year of the 30th? Why didn't they just put that in the lake?
Great question. Should have done it.
But
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
granted,
They
it would have
also
taken
it
place at the
was
Christmas
only.
tree, but worth it.
I love the Christmas tree.
That'd be easy too, though.
It is
If you
a
think
great
about it,
tree.
with the Christmas tree, all you have to do is just wrap lights around it, put a star at the top of it. It's Christmas tree. Boom.
True.
They need to put the hat in
Come on,
Echo
Disney.
Lake.
What's wrong? Put the hat there. It would take away some of the views though, like the view like across the lake. But like, I don't care. Put the hat back.
Yeah, but if you think about
Also-
it though, if you're if you're on one side of the lake, you're looking at 50s prime time, Hollywood and Vine, Indiana Jones shop. And then if you're on the other side, you're basically just looking at the Frozen Ever After show. Like,
Which is like
really
not
the
cute.
only view you're
like not like a good
really the-
view.
yeah, really the only view that you're taking away is the backside of Dockside Diner and the backside of water. And the I wanted to say the Great Movie Ride, but the Chinese Theater.
Yeah. There's not.
That's
much
really
fun.
the
It's
only
fun.
thing you're taking away from it.
Yeah.
And possibly
Also-
a spot to view fireworks as well, because I know people would stand over there to be away from the crowd.
Okay. Whatever. That's fine.
Who cares about
Put the
that?
hat
though?
back. Put the hat back. Okay.
Yep.
Next on my list that should change is what was I gonna say?
I don't know.
I was gonna say something. Well, I was gonna mention the Frozen show, but I love the Frozen show. This is where I was going with it. Things that should change was the American Idol thing, because I thought that was weird. Now it's Frozen, which is
Never
good.
understood it.
I think it was like High School Musical in between, but I'm glad they changed it. That was a good change. I love the Frozen show. It's hilarious. Lots of like fun jokes in it. The little kids are like, "Oh my gosh, Frozen!" And then the Just Eric on stage is like, "This one's for you, Dad," and it just like makes it like a big family show. I don't know. It's like really good.
Yeah, it's nice.
So keep that forever. I haven't seen it since like right after Frozen 2 came out, so I don't know if they've added more to it since then.
From what I
but
remember, I think they still
really
just
good.
based it off of the first one. I don't
That's totally okay.
remember any changes unless it's in the works and they just
Okay.
haven't put it into the show yet.
Possible.
But my favorite part's
Frozen
the snow.
3. Frozen 3 needs to have Just Eric in the movie.
Are they doing
And,
Frozen 3?
I don't think so, but if they do,
Oh,
Just Eric and whatever the girl's name, Ariana or Aria or something like that, they need to be in the movie
just
because
narrate it.
they're like they need to be like best friends with Olaf and just like hang out in Arendelle. That would be hilarious. That would be good.
If it wasn't Frozen though, what would you change it to?
And a Disney Channel experience. Go with me. You're like walking in, you get to see sets of some of the old shows and like take lots of pictures and stuff. And then at the very end, there's a video experience. There's 4 different rooms, so you have like 4 different families going in there one time. You're like, I'm Gray Barnhill, and you're watching Disney Channel. Ba, 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 da. And then they give you that video, and you can keep it forever.
I do like
It's
that.
like $20.
But do you think that they would need that whole space to do that though? I feel like you could literally do that in
Well,
PhotoPass.
I mean, well, you probably could, but like if you have like 4 or 5 different rooms, like people showing you how to do it, I think it'd be good. I also just like really want a video of me in front of a white curtain and like doing the whole thing and like having it trace and like look really cool. So truly, I just want that for myself. And I can just watch it every day. And like every day as I wake up, I'll be like, I'm Gray Barnhill and you're watching my life. Ba, 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 da. And just
See,
like,
You might want that. You know what I want? I want to be those kids that were jumping on the trampoline next to the rolls of tape.
okay, like right
Up
before Disney
next
Channel
on
movie.
Disney Channel.
See,
You know what I'm
but
talking
that
about?
That could be part of the experience.
That could be a room. That could be one of the 4 rooms.
See, you get to choose which one you do. Wow. Put me as an Imagineer. Am I right or am I right? Okay. Yeah, that's all I would change about Echo Lake. I like Echo Lake. I think it's great. The stuff around it, awesome. Indiana Jones, Frozen, keep it. I love it.
Yep. Star Tours
I-
needs to move though. We're
I was
kind of
gonna
in that
say,
area. I was a little
yeah,
off.
I was just about to
but
say that. Star Tours is like kind of in a weird spot. But Star Tours is also like not supposed to be in Galaxy's Edge. It's so like,
True,
but I think it'd be
yeah.
cool to have it like maybe a little bit closer. So you could like fly Star Tours and then walk into Galaxy's Edge. Like you land on Batuu and then you walk in. That could be a fun like kind of transition.
Yeah.
So I think if they
the
moved it
hotel's
closer,
doing that, which is so cool.
which I think that's a waste of money too, but that's all.
It's a waste of money. I would never pay that much, but it's such a cool concept.
Yeah, it is a cool concept.
Yeah, because the gift shop's Tatooine as well. So
yeah,
like, you have like 2 planets.
yeah,
What?
it's weird. But I like Star Tours as a ride. I think it's okay.
Star Tours as a ride is pretty good. The old edition used to make me nauseous. Now that they kind of updated
A
the
lot of
3D
people used to say that, and I
Yep.
think they've updated it to where it's better now. But a lot of people used to get nauseous on it.
Yep. And I don't get nauseous on it anymore because I think they updated the 3D touch on it. And it is new glasses as well. So
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
and right next to Star Tours is Backlot Express, which I love that quick service.
Yeah,
It is so good.
Great quick service. The food is good, and the theming is where it should be in Hollywood studios. The backlot cafeteria. You're an actor. You just got off set. You go eat lunch.
Yep.
Genius. Never get rid of it. Keep it forever. And on the other side, kind of behind the Chinese theater, is ABC Commissary, which I think is cool.
I've actually never been there. And if I have,
some-
it's because I was too young to remember on one of my first vacations. But by
I've been
my
there. The food
decision,
is
I've
like-
never been there.
Food's like okay, it's like pretty, it's pretty normal. It's like Disney quick service, whatever. But I think it's cool giving homage to like Disney owning ABC and like giving a little bit of that. I think it would be really cool if there was something there that had like the Good Morning America desk and you could like stand behind it and take photos. Another great photo opportunity, which they don't have. But across from ABC Commissary is one of the most unknown, I would say, in my opinion anyway, meet and greets, which is Sorcerer Mickey.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know he's there. And I
Sorcerer
love
Mickey, and then you
Mickey.
also have Red Carpet Minnie, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
No
Yeah,
offense to
I think
Minnie.
that's
I'm
right.
gonna go see Sorcerer Mickey. Sorry, Minnie.
Sorcerer Mickey is
Sure.
my favorite of all the Mickeys. He's the best one. So
And then you get to watch him at the night show, Fantasmic too. So
yeah,
it's-
then you get to watch Fantasmic. Also, Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios never change. Be you,
which I
girl.
just realized we haven't even really talked about Sunset Boulevard and that stuff over there.
Okay, I think
but
we're done with
we'll
Echo
get to
Lake
that
Hill
in
and
a
everything
second.
over there. So we can head to Sunset Boulevard if you would like.
Yeah, I think we should.
Great.
Trying to think of things that I would change on Sunset Boulevard because as soon as you turn that corner to the right and you look at Tower, you're just in awe and you really can't think of anything else other than I love that building.
Well,
what?
ready for the hot take button again? Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, ring it.
Tower of Terror, burn it to the ground.
Son of a. Cue the beat.
Okay. I don't like Tower of Terror. I've only ridden it once. The theming of that ride, fantastic. I just recently watched the like behind the attraction thing on Disney Plus about it. Very cool, very genius
Yep.
the way they came up with like the way it works. Very smart, like the ride system, everything. Very, very cool. I don't like the drop. I don't like it. I rode it one time, absolutely hated it, wanted to throw up afterwards, had a terrible headache. Like it was awful.
Do you
I
think
have a lot
that's
of friends that-
possibly because you worked yourself up too much before the ride? What do you think it'd be like if you rode it a second time?
I'd probably hate it again.
Really?
Probably.
Dang.
Because here's the thing that I don't like. I wasn't falling because I was being pulled, but I was moving faster than gravity. If I
Yep.
jump off of something, I know how fast gravity is supposed to be, but that's going faster than gravity, and that's not natural. And that's how you die.
Well, yeah, because you're in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I get that. Again,
In
I don't know.
1939.
I don't like horror movies. I think they're weird. I like the fact that the cast members there do a really good job of like doing the whole creepy thing and like
Mm-hmm.
the pre-show's great. If I could just like go through the pre-show, go through everything, getting on the ride, and then it's just like a haunted mansion ride after it, I would be okay with it. But because it's the drop, I don't like it.
Yeah, I honestly, there's not one thing that I would change with tower. I absolutely love that tower. Um, I wish it was a little bit more creepy, but I'm also saying that as a 25-year-old, I probably wouldn't say that if I was 7, because at 7
Yeah.
years old, it is creepy.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being in there by myself with the very faint music and low lighting. I would hate to be a cast member in there by myself late at night.
Yeah.
I even remember going on park walks for all the strollers and wheelchairs from Oscars. People that don't remember or didn't know, that's where I worked. So I had to get the wheelchairs and stuff at night if I was lucky enough to do a park walk. I remember a lot of the people I'd go on park walks with, they either just didn't feel like walking over there, or either they said they didn't feel like walking over there. But I think it's just because it was kind of like creepy being so close to that tower, because it's not haunted, but it's themed like it's haunted. So it's just
No, it's themed like it is, and it's scary. Also, I just had to
Yeah.
apologize. I said burn tower to the ground. Don't burn it to the ground. It's nice. I like it. I have a vendetta against it because I don't like the ride.
because it
Number
almost
one.
burnt you to the ground.
Because it almost killed me. I'm pretty sure I had a heart attack on that ride and I like died. And if you like look at the picture, it's my face like dead. And then like later I woke up. Number 2, I'm still sad that that is like the icon of Hollywood studios. I don't think that's what it should be. I think
What
it
do
should
you
be
want
the
it to
Chinese
be?
theater,
Yes.
or the hat.
But
That makes sense. The Tower of Terror does not make sense to me
see, okay,
as the
so
icon of that park.
yeah, okay. So when it comes to the icon, and then I'll have to say one more thing about the tower because it's just a cool experience. But when it comes to the icon of the park, I don't think that you should change it though. There for a while, they wanted to change it to the Millennium Falcon, which I was going to be very upset if they did that because I felt like they
That
started pushing
also
it.
I would be just as angry. It does that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense either.
But I honestly, the Chinese theater wouldn't work, and then the sorcerer hat would be the only other option other than the tower, because you have a Chinese theater in California. So you really can't make that the icon of one of the parks because there's an actual like scale, 1-to-1 scale. Like the Chinese theater burnt down in California and they borrowed Disney's blueprints to rebuild it, kind of thing. So
I mean,
I don't
you're
think
right.
that they would be able to make that the icon unless they heavily edited it and like made it their own when it came to being an icon to put on their lounge flies and all this stuff, like backpacks and totes and all this stuff. But
I don't know. I think when I think of the Tower of Terror, I want to die, and so that's why I don't like it as the icon of my favorite park. But
I think since most icons are silhouettes or color blocked, I think what would be a really cool icon if it wasn't the tower, because I love the tower as the icon of studios. I think it should be like a silhouette of Sorcerer Mickey on top of the Phantasmic Rock.
I think that would be cool as well.
I think that would
cool.
work.
But having a character in an icon is kind of weird because everything else is not like that.
Yeah. But the thing that I like about the tower being the icon of Hollywood Studios is because Hollywood Studios was originally based, and still half of the park is based in the 30s and 40s, 20s, 30s, early 40s.
Yeah, and
You know, like I
Tower
even
is
had to
very
dress
much
like I was from the 30s and 40s when I was working there. So,
and Tower is very much in that theme, in that time. It's very, very well
1939.
themed. Yeah, I'll give it to that. I'll give it to them on that. Great.
Yeah, I do like that. And you know, when I worked package pickup on the extension of my program, I absolutely love doing my not package pickup walks, but my drives, which everybody did not like it when I did my first drive because I took way too long, because I kind of forgot how like the direction I should have went. So they give you an hour, right? I accidentally went an hour and a half because I was just like, it was like my first time and I was just like, do I go here? Do I go there? Like I remember, but I don't remember. And I also don't want to make a phone call. I don't want to be embarrassing. But anyway, besides the point, I remember Tower of Terror was on one of the stops on the run, unless there was just a run just for Galaxy's Edge, but that's just because that Galaxy's Edge was so busy. So you basically had one drive to Galaxy's Edge, and then the other driver was the rest of the park. You would pull up to the tower, you'd pull up behind the tower, and it was like so cool because like I'm like, yeah, you know, people get to do this, but from where I'm from, people don't just get to do this. And I've been on this attraction since I was very little. So it was very cool getting to go backstage, walk through the tower, and do all this certain stuff, and just I don't know. It's very cool. So I already loved the tower, and after doing that, I even have more of a connection with that tower. So it's just like when you say burn it to the ground, I'm like, no.
I'm sorry. Burn it to the ground was a little much. It was a little much. I'm sorry. I like to say burn things to the ground when I don't like them, but it's very well themed. A lot of people like it. It's a great ride for most people. I just personally don't like it. I don't. Yeah, that's just it. That's it. But I'll move away from that subject before people stop listening to this podcast.
Yeah. And then we've already
They haven't
talked
already.
about Rock and Roller Coaster. So
Yep.
skip away from that one.
Talk about that
However,
in a
with
different
Fantasmic, I would like to make one change to Fantasmic. I just don't think it would ever be possible. But this is because when I was a little kid, when I was like 7, 8 years old, first time I ever went to go watch Fantasmic, I always pictured the dragon to come up and over the rocks and like step on the rocks and be like this huge dragon, and Mickey's like fighting it from the bottom instead of, you know, him being at the very well, he's not fighting it at the very top, but
They're
he would be on the
dancing
bottom.
around in like a circle.
Yeah, like he's just kind of like dancing and like just like watching out for the dragon. I wanted the dragon to literally put his or her 2 front legs up on the rocks. Yeah, claws, legs, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah.
And then just like peer over. That way, you know, the whole crowd's kind of like, this thing's huge. And you know, and then just have the wings spread out and just be like this massive. That's what I pictured.
That would be really cool.
I was going into this show. And then all of a sudden it was like on the stage, and you know, maybe 4 times the size of Mickey. Like it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Dragon, cool.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but other than that, soundtrack's great. The rest of the show is great. Don't take it away.
Yeah. Love Fantasmic.
Fantasmic is fantastic.
Amen. That's why it's called that.
I loved hearing Fantasmic in the background when I would be on break, like towards the end of the night. I would go on break, or either I would just be putting ECBs and strollers back up backstage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all you'd hear. Bum, 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 bum.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I love my job.
When I worked at Boardwalk, when I was the stalker, when I was trained, one of my favorite trainers ever, I'm not going to say who it was because if he ever works there again, he might get in trouble. But anyway, when I was being trained, I like went over to like a back area where like doing stuff. We have to go stock a bar or something. And he told me at 9 o'clock every night he would just like somehow be over there in the middle of his like rotations, and you could hear the Fantastic music. And then I also did that and loved it. So
Fantastic was awesome. Beauty and the Beast show. I don't really care for it.
I saw it once. Tales all his time, you know, that it's just like meh.
It's kind of like watching the movie in a live action, really short 30-minute thing. But basically, where I was getting at is Frozen Ever After. It's a show. I'll go watch it if the people I'm with want to watch it. Beauty and the Beast. I'd rather skip out on it and go get a snack and just like people watch on Sunset. But I would rather. Yeah, Fantasmic. I'm not going to skip.
Yeah.
When I was younger, my dad and I used to skip it, and we would just switch back and forth between Tower and Rock and Roller Coaster and just ride the heck out of them while my sister and my mom were at Fantasmic. Nowadays, I'm just like, I don't care. I'm sorry, Dad. I've rode those rides enough. I'm going to watch Fantasmic.
Were you the one that was with me that was like, we're going to go watch Fantasmic? And then like AJ and a couple other people rode Tower, and they said they were going to come later and they couldn't get in?
If I wasn't with AJ, I was definitely with you, but I don't remember which side.
There was a group of people who went to Hollywood Studios and were like, we're going to go watch Fantasmic. But like it was getting close to time, and I was like, I'm going to go get a seat at Fantasmic. And they went to go ride Tower, and they're like, we're going to come afterwards. But then they couldn't get in. It was like me and like 1 or 2 other people.
I think I might have been with AJ on that because I can't see myself skipping out on Tower, especially if I was like, I should have time for Fantasmic. But I don't know. AJ.
Loser. Anyway, yeah. I would skip the Beauty and the Beast show. I like Beauty and the Beast. Thought the show was good. Watched it once. Was like, okay, that was cute. Frozen after a Frozen show. I don't know if it's called Frozen Ever After. I think that's what the ride's called. Whatever. The show itself, I think it's hilarious, and I would watch it over and over and over again. But I also have a dream one day to become just Eric on stage and do the whole thing because I have the whole show memorized. So Disney, if you need
I will be there.
an actor, you give me a call. I'm ready to go.
If you become just Eric, I will gladly yell puddle.
Wow, thank you so much. And I'll get so
that
mad
way
at
you can that way you can call me out.
Yeah, I will. I'll say Jeffrey. Like,
you're my boy, Blue.
Yeah.
Chase those dreams.
Yeah. I love that show. One more thing in Hollywood Studios that I want to cover that I think we might have mentioned in the last episode. The Cars thing, like Racing Academy thing.
No joke on
what is that?
The thing. Because it's just in the corner. Like so many people don't even really know it's there because they walk in, they see the huge guitar, they're like, oh, rock and roller coaster, cool. They're not gonna look to the right and see this door jam of a walkthrough.
You put Baby in a corner. It's a 15-minute show. It's not even that exciting. Just do something else. Put Lightning McQueen and Mater just driving down the middle of Main Street.
Which they used to.
And oh yeah, I've got pictures from when I was a kid with them like in the middle of whatever. But like, Racing Academy is just weird. It's in a weird spot. Just do something else. I don't know where you would put it. I don't know. Get rid of the Incredibles thing. Put them in Tomorrowland if you really want them to be Tomorrow people. And then put a Cars thing over there. Put Radiator Springs over there. And I know Radiator Springs is in California. And I've never been and I want to go. But like,
well,
put it there.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there. Because what we talked about last episode with the Driving Academy or whatever for Speedway, you can just put a car section over there.
Oh, true. I forgot that we talked about that. Put Cars in Tomorrowland, Speedway, and just get rid of the Racing Academy. Just close it off.
And then put Indiana, if they have a contract or however long they want to keep Indiana Jones around, I don't know. They should move the theater over there. That's not an expensive job for Disney to do. If anything, it's just going to take time. And then put something else over next to the theater. I don't care what you do.
And here we go, bringing it back to the beginning. If you don't move Indiana Jones, or if you do, Monsters Inc., get it out of the Walt Disney thing and put something else somewhere. I know we talked about moving it to Magic Kingdom, but like, if you want another movie, you want another something, put it there.
They could do, well, no, because that would be Tomorrowland. I was going to say something with Monsters Inc. because it's over in the museum, but that needs to be Tomorrowland. Yeah. We'll have to figure out what we would put where Indiana Jones used to be.
Hollywood is
decided to move it.
I don't know. I want something that goes back to the theme. Something more Hollywood. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But that's all I have for Hollywood Studios. I think it's a good park. As much as I like want it to go back to the old days, I like it the way it is as well. So.
It's a solid park and it's my home location. So I'm not going to complain about it too much. And I know that we probably sound like some negative Nancy's, but this is what we would change if we had the option. So I just want to make that clear. It's not the fact that we don't like it. I like it 85% of the way it is right now. I mean, there's definitely things that I would change, but everybody has something that they would change just a little bit.
That's right.
Voice crack there. But other than that, I gotta love Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to sound like a negative Nancy. I know you don't
1
either.
to 10, 11.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 11.
So, I mean, what would make it an 11 out of 10 for me is because I know how certain stuff works backstage and I know what backstage looks like now. And I've always wanted to know what a backstage looked like to a Disney park. And I don't know what Magic Kingdom other than orientation. But
traditions.
I was going to say, other than traditions, I don't know what backstage of Magic looks like. I don't know what Epcot looks like, and I don't know what Animal looks like. I did that on purpose. But I'm also one of those where I like to specialize. I don't like to have a broad knowledge. I like to have a specialized knowledge. I might be into a lot of things, but it's only like 3 or 4 things where I'm just like, I really invest my time and energy in. So it's just like when I figured out that Hollywood was my home location, I was like, I'm going to try to know everything about Hollywood Studios over this time. So it's my home location. I don't mean to sound like a negative Nancy. I love Hollywood Studios. I don't have anything
what these
else. You said
episodes
that
are
you
about.
don't have anything else. Yeah.
I don't. That's it. Thanks for listening, guys.
But yeah, if you
Okay.
guys have anything that you guys would want to change, definitely hit us up on the Instagram on the Goofy Scoop page. Please hit us up there. Other than that, I don't have anything else to add.
That's it.
Other than oh boy, see you real soon. I'm at a loss for words.
Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, I don't like ending these podcasts because I can talk about Disney forever. But next week is going to be exciting as well because we'll have our first ever guest.
Ooh, ooh.
So,
Ooh, ooh.
yeah. So I think I'm going to leave that with a oh boy. All right, Gray. I'll catch you later. It's always good time with you on this podcast. And that was another episode on the Goofy Scoop podcast. See you real soon.